On poursuit maintenant avec une prochaine intervenante, Madame Sylvia Oljemark. Normalement, au nom de la Coalition verte, the Green Coalition. Alors, welcome, Mrs. Oljemark.
Merci. Ma question, c'est pour Monsieur le maire Tremblay, mais au début, j'aimerais déposer avec vous, Monsieur le Président, un petit papier de 2 pages.
Allez-y. Merci. Alors, vous avez droit à un préambule et puis une mise en contexte, et ensuite vous posez votre question.
Merci beaucoup. Alors, Monsieur Tremblay, I'd like to ask this question in English. It's a lot easier for me. The Green Coalition members are very proud of Mayor Tremblay and the role and work that he does on the world stage for the protection and preservation and conservation of biodiversity. Now, your leadership, Mr. Tremblay, Mayor Tremblay, on the world stage to do this great job is truly important for our city. And to help validate that undertaking, we need to move forward in protecting our last unprotected natural spaces on the island. That's why in this year, the International Year of Biodiversity, we find it particularly encouraging that on January 13th, in your presentations on the budget, when it was tabled that day, you made enthusiastically seeming remarks about 36 million being dedicated to the preservation and protection of natural spaces on our island, and that 36 million would be dedicated to that cause over the next 3 years. We were very happy, and today, however, we know that councillors will vote not on the pretty words in the text of the big budget document, but rather on the dollar amounts that appear in the line items. Now, since January 13, we've learned that there's a discrepancy, that the line item on page 219 does not fit with the text. So we'd like to know if, Mayor Tremblay, there can be an addendum added to the budget today that will correct that discrepancy between the two, the text and the line item, which does not indicate any 12 million and 12 million and 12 million for the next 3 years. That's the question. Can it be please corrected?
Merci. Thank you. Monsieur de Souza.
Yes, Mr. President, thanks very much, and thank you, Ms. Oljemark, for the suggestion. I might say that I thought you would be thrilled with this news, and I haven't seen you yet jumping up and down. That being said, I hope you will. The initial 36 million, which was dedicated as part of the support for the green spaces policy, is not only respected but extended, because as you remember, it was made available for 3 years, and over 5 years those amounts were spent. So Council has displayed a certain willingness, and Council has displayed a certain hope to make and to continue those amounts, and even when the amounts were not spent, they were carried forward year after year to allow essentially that 36 million to be used. What you see here is essentially new money. And my understanding is that the 12 million that we have dedicated is there. It is perhaps, as you said, not a specific line item, but it's new money. And it's part of the $2 billion that will be prioritized. What we're saying very clearly on page 210 is that we undertake, if this document is adopted by Council, it's written there in black and white, or black and gray, as to the 12 million will be part of the priorities and will be dedicated, made available, not spent. Let me be very clear. It will be made available for 3 years over the next 3 years, 12 million per year. And I can't see how you could be more clear than that. So I don't think there's need for an amendment, so to speak. I think the document, as adopted by Council, it becomes essentially the decision that will guide us.
Merci, Monsieur de Souza. So you're entitled to ask another question if you want.
Yes,
Directly.
please. I just wanted to mention that it is an unfortunate situation because we are very happy about the intent, but we'd like to see it more clearly written in the line item on page 219. And furthermore, I would like to mention that we are rather concerned because we heard last week at the meeting on Wednesday that what was it here? A directive has been given to your services to create a new program that would effectively replace la politique de protection et de mise en valeur des milieux naturels. Now that's a shocking state of affairs for us. Green Coalition, as you know, has been there since the beginning, pressing for that program and being involved directly, participating in every phase of its creation, adoption, the public hearings, and all the processes that have gone to make it what it is, a successful plan that has lots of latitude to move in whatever direction is required. We ask you, will you please not jettison this program, this policy? It works. Creating something new is going to take a heck of a lot of time. We need to move, protect those last spaces.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you. Mr. de Souza.
Thank you, Mr. President. And again, with regard to your question, let me clarify things for you. Again, don't hesitate to show your joy. Do jump up and down. It would be welcome. That being said, understand full well, and I've said this before, that there's no directive that's been given. What has been asked for is, and it's at my request, and I've said so publicly in November and December, that after 5 years of the program, I will take the time to evaluate the policy, to see how it's working, what works well, what doesn't work well. Clearly, after 5 years as a government, we need to review it to make sure that, if for anything, to make sure the taxpayers are getting value for their money. And so that process is inevitable. We think it's important to evaluate. We might come back and say, look, no changes are necessary. It works perfect. Let's keep it as it is. Or we might come back and say, look, here are ways to improve it. But I don't want to prejudge that process. The other 2 points, and again, I've spoken to you both publicly and private on this matter, is that we do feel the need to provide for some sort of aménagement for places, and that's partly what will be the monies will be used for. And as well, it is my intent, as responsible for sustainable development, to also consider what could be done for wetlands, les milieux humides. So that's also going to be part of our thinking.
Merci, Monsieur de Souza. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Merci,
President.
Madame Oljemark.